This is The Joy of Satan Forums, the date Tuesday, March 14th. And this post is entitled Drug High Explained by High Priesthood of Cobra. Greetings to our satanic family. Unfortunately, we live in a civilization that being stoned is the replacement of spirituality. Therefore, I'm going to fully explain what is happening on the highs of drugs and show the facts about these. Because when one doesn't know the facts or buys some lies, one becomes falsely curious. But when you know, well, you know the facts. To be honest, I believe these particular types of drugs are developed by the enemy aliens on purpose by their inspired followers. If you pay attention, most of these drugs were created by the governments or other agencies to just try to hack into the brain for strange purposes, and all have failed at it. These blueprints were later marketed to the Goyim to have something spiritual to play with, some fake Skittles color in their Jewish colorless life, which ends up making their Goyim life all the worse in the end, and killing them while it robs them of all their shekels and life. Many do really try to act as a cheap replacement of spirituality, which is laughable to all spiritual adepts and others who are rookies but have experienced something. Every now and then, people who have tried these have seen for themselves that drugs are flattened by the highs or real soul meditation. Now, the physical body has stored hormones, chemicals in it. For people who do not meditate, these chemicals exist there for a reason, such as to be activated on an accident, protection, whatever. Those who hardly ever meditate, their soul or astral body exists in quite the disassociation from the physical one. And this is why many people feel like they do not have a soul at all. Those who are more advanced or are not in this category somehow know they have a soul, which is very common as well. The physical body has its own biochemistry that, for the person who does not meditate, does only to an extent reflect the situation in the chakras. In other words, the soul has to be activated in a way. Part of how the chakras connect to the physical body is through the endocrine system. This acts as a connector. For example, a computer, soul, connects with a screen, physical body, through a cable, connection. If you mess up the cable, you can cause distortions in the screen that can damage the screen or the computer. This is a simple example of what the drugs do in a sense. If you beat the screen with a hammer or destroy it, you don't really change any computer settings. If you cut the cable, you don't change the computer settings either. The computer is basically the source, the soul, astral body. Drugs do not act on this directly or at all to improve anything. Mostly they damage and destroy the computer, possibly, such as if you short-circuit the screen. You can, however, destroy the screen, and if you do it badly, ruin the computer through indirect current. The cable can also be ruined, severing the computer with the screen, from the screen. The above is the simplest way to explain this. When one gets into an accident, loses a limb, or is beaten senseless, only some things do pass down to the immortal and non-physical part of the soul. For example, if someone is beaten by a club, only the experience or something deeper makes it into the soul or astral body. The same goes for bullets and many other things. The damage is more emotional and what causes into the psyche of the person. Similar is what happens with drugs. For example, the adrenals have some chemicals in for a fight or flight response. When one inhales cocaine, their body as a reaction shoots these chemicals as such, creating a feeling akin to confidence. This has nothing to do with confidence or the soul in any way, as in the soul producing it or being the cause of it. It's just a physical reaction of the system. In plain terms, you were the same dumbass you were before. You just shoot your adrenal chemicals. When these are out, you return to being the same dumbass times 2. If someone bashes your head with a club, you will feel numbness to pain, a release of chemicals to protect you from it, a purely physical response to the stimuli. Briefly, when this is over, these cease, and one starts to feel pain, even if they did not feel pain earlier. Their non-painful feeling wasn't really real, it was masked by something. Of course, this burdens the soul because it pulls energy that otherwise wasn't supposed to be there, let alone in any frequency, from whatever remains in the soul as storage. In short, these habits do deplete the soul energy really bad. Cocaine specifically destroys the solar plexus chakra because it draws from it to create this experience. It's basically regressing you spiritually to do drugs like that. Additionally, this imbalance feeds into the soul and stays on it. This is artificial, fake, and happens from below to above, in a disharmonious and damaging way, and at the expense of the whole system. When the soul is depleted a lot, it starts pulling energy from other chakras or the aura. Therefore, the holes in the aura and chakras that some people have talked about. The energy is lacking, and therefore the aura is minimal. Meditators have a lot of inner energy, which extends outwards, creating an aura of power. Drug users are the exact reverse. This is why drug users become completely broken in confidence, finances, and many other ways, such as self-image. Energy that is supposed to work for one's benefit just gets sapped from the soul to produce physical reactions. Another one is heroin. Heroin users say they feel an artificial feeling of being loved. Nobody really loves them. Nobody really keeps them safe. Nobody really cares. They are just sitting there like a junkie on the pavement, and nothing has changed, but only for the worse. Their lives are going downhill even more. They are trying to hack into these altered states without even working for them. Then we have this other thing, MDMA, which is supposed to make you really happy. Your body has some endorphins stored somewhere, and the reaction to this is to shoot many of them out, making you feel a fake happiness. You aren't even really happy at all. Your body is being hacked into this. After your happy time ends, you get what is called a suicide Monday, and you want a suicide. This is the natural response of the body that wants to kill itself due to you misusing it. Of course, people think that they're in dreamland, and here we go again. Pull more energy from the soul, damage it further, and of course, damn the body's reserves, until you eventually die in the street or something, or lose your sanity. This is why the enemy knows and doesn't allow any rabbis or any of their spiritualists to do drugs. Because when your aura and your chakras become as thin as paper, then any entity and any sort of destructive crap can pin on you. This is why the enemy Jews, with their Christianity focus on saving drug addicts and stuff, are turning them into Borgs for their agenda. Another one is the supposed drug that opens the third eye. The real satanic third eye needs a lot of work to open. When this is open, everything can be seen. If you pay attention to drug users, they always see some random mental crap of their own, lower than the level of the pre-sleep state, or delusional paranoia. They do not see the truth, let alone have any ability to use this for their advantage in any way. They are just passively watching their brain go on a chemical rampage. Many times we have the ugliest of trips that permanently damage our brains. Their experiences have nothing to do with the astral. It's just that they've messed up their brain chemistry so that they see crap floating all over the place. It's not worth it. If you put 5 minutes a day into working with your third eye in about 40 days of time, you will notice, no matter how inexperienced you are, that your head will start to open up. Because you adjust to your soul, you may start having some pain and some strange sensations. The soul is slowly coming to life again. All the insight and empowering states will come as a result of the soul, not of some Jewish joke. The Satanist who opens the third eye and masters it can see present and future, can see lies from falsehood, and many other empowering abilities. One really sees the spiritual levels as well. The drug high is really a low. Real meditation highs do actually come from stimulation of the soul down to the body. In other words, they happen due to an increase in the soul power, which is the light. And these come down to the physical body as an increase in altered states. This is typical in pineal meditation. Pineal meditation can cause highs that put all the artificial highs to shame. Not only it doesn't harm you and there's no drawback, but it's natural and it doesn't mess the balance of your body, leaving you in paranoia or endless depression. This is why meditation has to be done daily. As the forces raise, they have to be raised harmoniously, and the body gradually adjusts to the higher levels in which the power becomes permanent. Highs are the result of the empowered soul, and they also, over time, become permanent. Additionally, one's consciousness is raising, which is exactly why this is happening. Not some funny pill that one will urinate out of their system. These result from the immortal soul. Your soul is what you take into your next lifetime, adjusting your body into this high and generally putting you permanently onto a higher level of being, away from misery, pain, spiritual and material impoverishment, and all the other crap that torments those who don't work spiritually. What you rise towards, you will get. I hope this settles the drug question. High Priesthood Cobra 666. Hail Satan.